Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios. Today we're reviewing a Lego Star Wars Brickheadz set, given set number 75317, The Mandalorian and the Child, one of my favorite Lego Star Wars Brickheadz sets ever. With the official announcement that The Mandalorian Season 4 is being turned into a movie titled The Mandalorian and Grogu, I thought this was the perfect time to unbox this set and do a review on the channel. These two brickheads in total contain 295 pieces, the Child Brickhead given number 113 and The Mandalorian 114. The Mandalorian and the Child Brickheadz initially released in the summer of 2020 on August 1st for a total of $20 US. The set also did just retire at the end of 2023, so if you're looking to pick up this set, I highly recommend you go out and try and find it now. You still can find it in stock at some places, but even that said, the premium on the collector's resale market isn't that much over the initial retail price, so still very affordable and in my opinion worth picking up. When you open the box, you'll find that each Brickheadz build is completely separate in the bags and even the instructions booklets. The Child is up first with 2 bags, then the Mandalorian with 3. When you've completed both of the builds, this will be your end result, and I just think this might be one of the best Lego Star Wars Brickheadz sets that they've ever done. I mean, in the Brickheadz form, Grogu, especially with that pram, just really works, and I know the Mandalorian and Grogu, just in general when it comes to Star Wars, are relatively new, but they are already such an iconic duo, and for a lot of material coming up, they are going to be so important, especially Grogu, right? He's going to live to be 1,000 years old, so he's going to be in a lot of stuff going forward. And this Brickheadz build, I just think both of them together, this set, is just absolutely fantastic and really works in the Brickheadz form. It's just the quintessential Star Wars Brickheadz set. Now, since Grogu is the first build, we're going to dive into his brickhead a little bit more first here. And the obvious thing when it comes to this brickhead is that pram. Lego absolutely nailed the design and shape of it in my mind for a brickhead set. It just looks so great, and Grogu fits perfectly to scale inside of there too. I think for what you'd want for a brickhead set, I don't think it would have looked good had they made the pram bigger. This is just overall the perfect scaling when you compare both the pram and Grogu inside of it. What's really great about this build too is that Grogu is completely detachable from the pram, and you can actually have him out and walking on his own behind Mando like he often is when he's not with that pram. And I think Lego did a really good job too in nailing the design of his robes when it comes to this Brickheadz format as well. It looks really great. Taking a quick look at the pram without Grogu inside of it, you can see how there are those two 2x1 tiles with the center studs for the connection points. It's very simple, he fits in there nice and snug, and the connection point isn't too strong where it's difficult to take Grogu in and out of the pram. The last part of the pram's design that I really appreciate is the use of those 2 clear bricks underneath to give the illusion that it is levitating. Lego went and did a really nice job in ensuring that the pram is still going to be sturdy enough, but also have the look that it's floating. I really love the design choice there. Now, the last thing that you might be wondering when it comes to the Child Brickhead is if Grogu can fit on that black display stand on his own without the pram. And while the answer is yes, Grogu's design is actually in an odd number on the bottom, so he doesn't fit on there centered. So what I think is just obviously the clear and best look for him is to display him inside of the pram, but that said, if you left him on his own, just behind Mando, for example, he still looks really good and very cute on his own following him around. Looks a little bit shorter too with the scaling without the pram. Moving on to the Mandalorian, and this is another very thoughtfully designed version of the character, this time in the brickhead form. I think Lego did a really great job adding in lots of details with the character, like his helmet, for example, those 2 printed pieces. They actually sit in the build a little bit differently where they're just floating in and held in place by the top of the helmet, just in order to get that actual shape and design done a little bit better. I think these building techniques Lego did a really great job of incorporating into the build. Personally, my favorite angle to display this brickhead at is where you can see the right side of him with that tan angled piece on his shoulder with the blue print. Just overall looks really great and adds just that pop of color, which really breaks up the use of brown, tans, grays, and blacks. Just adds that little piece of color, which is very much appreciated in the brickhead build. All the other details on the Mandalorian I think look great, and it has just that right amount of balance of adding in those little details like on his belt, for example, but without being too busy. The only thing that personally I just am not a big fan of on this brickhead is the use of those 2 lightsaber hilts on his right leg. Personally, whenever I see those pieces, all I can see is actual lightsaber hilts. So that's just one thing that to me it looks like, oh, he's got two lightsabers kind of on the side of him there ready to go, but that's of course not what they actually are. They're just nice design features to add some more detail, and of course the chrome as well as a nice breakup of the colors as well, but I just kind of wish maybe they would have went with something else for that part, but hey, that is just me. Moving along to the back of the Brickhead, and you get a great look at Mando's cape. I love the rounded edges and the jagged bottom of it. It looks like a battle-worn cape, and it looks like it's flowing and not super static. Overall, I love the design there. On his back as well, you see they've added his Amban Phase Pulse Blaster Rifle, another great addition and another weapon for the Mandalorian Brickhead to have. I really think personally the best way to display him is with that rifle on his back, where you can just see the edges kind of poking out there, just like he does whenever he's walking on the show and it's on his back, and then the more brick-built gun that he holds in his hand. I think that's the best way to go about displaying the Mandalorian, because personally, I've never been a fan of when they give these Brickhead Star Wars figures the traditional minifigure weapons. It just takes me out of the overall design when you see, for example, like the Luke Skywalker Brickhead holding a lightsaber. It doesn't look that great in my mind because it's the minifigure lightsaber and the scale is just all wonky. I get it, it's just a fun display piece in these Brickheads, but I just have never been a fan of the way that looks. So this is the best way to display the Mando Brickhead, in my personal opinion. In conclusion, I genuinely love this Lego Star Wars Brickhead set. I think it just absolutely works all together, and it's the perfect package with the Mandalorian and Grogu with the pram. You just couldn't ask for anything more when it came to a Brickhead's design of these two characters, I really think. And with that movie for the Mandalorian and Grogu coming out, this set is only going to do nothing but appreciate in value. So if you've been on the fence, if you haven't added it to your Lego Star Wars collection and you're a fan of the Mandalorian and Grogu, this is an absolute must-buy. I think it just is a really cute little display set, even for your home office or just somewhere else around. It's small enough where it can fit in other places where large Star Wars ships, for example, won't display well. I think overall it's a set that's an absolute must-buy for any fan of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Lego absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one, and who knows if they ever will make another Brickheadz version of the Mandalorian and Grogu, maybe a couple years down the future if we get another movie or something, but because it's been so recent, I just can't see it happening anytime soon. So please go and pick up this set if you haven't already. You won't regret it, that is for sure. Thank you so much for watching this Lego Star Wars Brickheadz review. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I really appreciate you, and if you enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up as it just helps my brand new channel grow and reach more Lego Star Wars fans. Also, please consider checking out one of my other Lego Star Wars reviews on the YouTube channel, and consider subscribing as well. All of that is just really appreciated as someone who's just brand new to sharing his passion of Lego Star Wars and creating content for you guys. Any feedback as well, anything you'd like to see or any changes, please, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next Lego Star Wars review.